No! Why would you recommend that one? Honestly, I'm pretty impressed. Okay, let's keep going. I'm about to ask AI to recommend some of the best couch co-op games on the Nintendo Switch. We believe that couch co-op gaming is a fantastic way to spend time with your friends and family, so let's find out what Chat GPT has to say about that. Hey Chat GPT. Good start? Yeah? Yeah? How do you feel about couch co-op gaming? As an artificial intelligence language model, I do not have feelings in the way that humans do. However, I can tell you that couch co-op gaming, which involves playing video games with others in the same room, can be a fun and enjoyable social activity. It allows players to interact with each other in a more personal way and can create a sense of camaraderie and teamwork. Additionally, some games can be designed specifically for couch co-op play and can offer unique and exciting experiences that are not available in single player or online multiplayer modes. So obviously ChatGPT is not a human, which means that it has never actually played any of these games. So let's find out how it knows all of these things. How do you know about couch co-op gaming? As an AI language model, I have been programmed with vast amounts of information and knowledge on various topics, including video games and gaming culture. I have been trained on a large corpus of text data from the internet, including gaming blogs, forums, news articles, and other sources, which allow me to understand and answer questions about couch co-op gaming and other related topics. So now that we understand where ChatGPT is getting its information from, let's get to the core of our problem. Can you recommend 3 family-friendly co-op games on Nintendo Switch? Okay, let's see what it comes up with, and I'm super excited. Sure, here are 3 family-friendly couch co-op games on the Nintendo Switch that you might enjoy. Overcooked 2. This is a cooking simulation game where players work together in a kitchen to prepare and serve dishes. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mario Kart is a classic racing game that is fun for all ages. Snipperclips Plus. Cut it out together. Snipperclips is a puzzle game where players control cute characters made of paper and must cut and shape them to solve puzzles. I think those are some fantastic recommendations, but they're also some of the most recommended couch co-op games out there, which is exactly why you're going to want to stay till the end, because we're going to see just how many obscure and out there couch co-op titles we can get ChatGPT to recommend. So let's see if we can get a little bit more specific and get some niche recommendations. How about 3 co-op games for more experienced gamers? Okay, so here's what it has given us. Cuphead is a side-scrolling run-and-gun game with challenging boss battles that require precise controls and quick reflexes. This is definitely a more experienced game. I've heard it is incredibly difficult, which is why we haven't played it, because Carly is not a fan of difficult co-op games. It recommends Overcooked again. Then we have Don't Starve Together. This is a survival game where players must explore a mysterious world, gather resources, and fend off dangerous creatures. The game has a high level of difficulty and requires strategic planning and cooperation to survive. Don't Starve Together is one of our favorite co-op games to play together, and it is pretty difficult, but there's some settings that you can add in there to make it a little bit easier to get into. Let's try tapping on the brakes and actually head in the opposite direction and see what ChatGPT recommends for new gamers out there. How about 3 couch co-op games that are easy to pick up and play for beginners? Snack World, The Dungeon Crawl Gold. Unfortunately, that's our first piece of misinformation. At the time, I thought we had just stumbled upon a brand new couch co-op game that I had never even heard of, but as I'm editing the video now, I can see that this game supports local wireless on the Nintendo Switch, which requires multiple Switches to actually play and not couch co-op. So let's see how ChatGPT does from this point on. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. This is a cooperative space shooter where players control a spaceship and must work together to defeat enemies and navigate through obstacles. Just Dance 2022. Just Dance is a popular rhythm game that requires players to mimic dance moves shown on the screen. Let's see if we can trick up ChatGPT and get some lesser-known titles on the Nintendo Switch. Are there any lesser-known or underrated couch co-op titles on the Nintendo Switch? I forgot to specify 3 on that one, so we actually got 4 this time. It's given us Death Square. This is a puzzle game where players control cubes and must navigate through increasingly complex levels filled with traps and obstacles. The game requires communication and teamwork to solve puzzles. Now this I would not say is lesser known, as it's actually on a bunch of lists, but we've been playing it recently and it is really fun. Degrees of Separation. This is a puzzle platformer where players control two characters with different elemental abilities and must work together to solve puzzles and explore a fantasy world. Unruly Heroes. This is a side-scrolling action-adventure game inspired by the classic Chinese novel Journey to the West. Players control a team of 4 heroes with unique abilities and must fight enemies and solve puzzles to save the world. That's another one that I don't know much about, though I have heard the title before. Tools Up. This is a home renovation simulation game where players work together to complete renovation tasks within a time limit. We actually highly recommend Tools Up and personally prefer it over Overcooked, as it's a little easier and less stressful, so we don't actually end up arguing as much during the game. Let's try now to get a little bit more specific in the types of games we're looking for and see what Chat GPT can throw at us. Can you recommend 3 games that have a mix of cooperative and competitive gameplay elements on the Nintendo Switch? So the first recommendation that it gave us here is Splatoon 2, which is actually not a local multiplayer game, which might be my fault for not specifying local multiplayer. Then we have ARMS. This is a unique fighting game where players control characters with extendable arms and fight against each other in a variety of arenas. The game has both a cooperative mode where players can team up against computer-controlled opponents and a competitive multiplayer mode where players can battle against each other. Killer Queen Black. This is an action-packed strategy game where players control one of 2 teams of 4 insects and compete to win by either filling their hive with berries, riding a giant snail across the map, or defeating the enemy team's queen. Nice job, ChatGPT. Off the top of my head, that's actually a pretty tough question to answer, but can you recommend any games with unique gameplay mechanics? So it has recommended Snipperclips to us again, as well as Overcooked 2. And while Snipperclips I think does have unique gameplay mechanics, Overcooked 2, while it may have been unique when Overcooked originally released, is no longer particularly unique. And the fact that it has now recommended both of these games multiple times is an excellent reason to subscribe to our channel, because we're constantly playing new couch co-op games and are bringing them to you as fast as we can. Now, other than those 2, it did bring us a new one, which is Heave Ho. This is a physics-based puzzle game where players control blob-like characters who must work together to navigate through obstacles and reach the goal. The game's unique gameplay mechanics include the ability to grab onto objects and swing through the air. I think that's a great recommendation. We have a couple more, but you're gonna have to subscribe. Can you recommend 3 couch co-op games that have a cooperative storyline or narrative on the Nintendo Switch? ChatGPT has failed us once again, and the first recommendation is not on the Nintendo Switch, which is A Way Out. This is a fantastic couch co-op game, though it is definitely mature, and we haven't even played it because of that. But if you want something similar, check out It Takes Two. It's on the Nintendo Switch by the same people. Next up, we've got Unravel 2. This is a puzzle platformer game where players control 2 yarn characters who must work together to navigate through levels and solve puzzles. The game features a touching storyline about the bond between the 2 characters as they embark on a journey to save their home. Then we have Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. This is an adventure game where players control 2 brothers who must work together to save their father from a deadly illness. We love Unravel 2, and Brothers was actually originally a single-player game that was made into a co-op game only on the Nintendo Switch. It's fantastic and made by the same people who made It Takes Two and A Way Out, but it is definitely older as it was made in 2013, and the story is a little darker as well, so beware of that. So we've established that ChatGPT is pretty good at recommending different couch co-op games in different types of genres and fields, but what if we're looking for games for a specific type of person or situation? Please give me 3 couch co-op games that are great for couples to play on the Nintendo Switch. No! Okay, I have terrible news, and that's that all of these games have already been recommended in this video. But we have a fantastic playlist about couples co-op games, and you can find it in that card in the upper corner, whichever side it's on, or in the description down below, so go check it out. So it failed on the couples front. Let's try this next question. Can you recommend any couch co-op games on the Nintendo Switch that are great for parties? Overcooked 2. Jackbox Party Pack. This is a collection of party games that can be played with a smartphone or tablet as a controller. The pack includes a variety of trivia, drawing, and word games that are perfect for parties and gatherings. I love that one because it does support a lot of people, and it's a pretty fun game to play with a large group of people. Ultimate Chicken Horse. This is a party game where players build a level and then try to navigate through it while avoiding traps and obstacles. Ultimate Chicken Horse is honestly one of our top-rated games for parties, so Chat GPT gets a win right there. Let's try something a little tricky. I don't know if Chat GPT really keeps track of the conversation we've been having, but let's see if it can recommend any games that it hasn't recommended so far. Can you recommend 10 couch co-op games on the Nintendo Switch that you have not recommended in this conversation yet? It's thinking. Okay, it's going. Wrong. Towerfall, a fast-paced action game where players shoot arrows at each other in an attempt to be the last one standing. Trine 4, The Nightmare Prince, a platformer game where players control a team of 3 characters with unique abilities who must solve puzzles and defeat enemies to save the kingdom. Wrong. Catastronauts, a co-op game where players control a spaceship and must work together to complete various challenges while avoiding hazards and repairing the ship. 9 Parchments, a top-down action game where players control a group of wizards who must defeat enemies and collect spells to progress through the levels. Stickballed, a dodgeball adventure deluxe, a sports game where players compete against each other in a dodgeball tournament with a variety of game modes and power-ups. Wargroove, a strategy game where players control armies and battle for control of a fantasy world. This is a focus on tactical gameplay and customization. Full Metal Furies, an action RPG game where players control a team of 4 characters with unique abilities who must battle through levels and defeat bosses. I gotta say, there's several there that I had not heard of, but it also recommended a couple that it had already talked about. If you want some recommendations from actual humans, then click on this video right here where we recommend some of our favorite co-op games to play together. We love you guys, and we will see you over there. Y'all are awesome.